Welcome to Rediscovered, my survival let's play in the world of Vintage Story. It is a beautiful day in the neighborhood, I'll tell you that. So one of the things I've been thinking about is the fact that, besides the fact that this island is not quite big enough for what I need, I've come to the conclusion that while it might be a while before the tower, the armored house, might be suitable for moving in any way, shape, or form, the current dirt hut I have is too small for anything that I really need to be doing now. So what I would like to do is actually build a larger dirt hut so that we can, we could do things like casting, right? And building some metal tools and that type of jazz without standing on top of liquid hot copper. So, it's a safety issue. It's a comfort issue. But, we're at a point now where I'm actually producing a decent amount of food. Not sitting pretty, but we are now in no fear of starvation now. So, then that was a big milestone because up to this point my next meal was not assured. Now that being said, I think at this point my next meal is assured, but better like those turnips, because that's what I got. I got a lot of turnips now. I got more on the way. I'll have plenty of turnips for the foreseeable future. In fact, it looks like some might be ready already, but that's fine. Meanwhile, we are already pulling a lot of dirt out of the tower. So, we can pull this material out, use it to build the new dirt hut. Waste not, want not, I guess. And then from there, eventually we'll take that back down and use it to extend the island. So, it's all good. There's no real throwaway work here. And that's good, because I hate throwaway work. But, I hate it, but in games like this, it's just a part of the process, right? You make something and then knowing that at some point you're going to replace it, or you make it thinking that it's going to be there forever, and then eventually find a better way to do it, and it winds up getting replaced. Just name of the game. That is progress, both in and outside this game. So, but this is good. Now, at the moment, right next to the tower I'm building, there is, I put in the. There's some pit kilns, and I put in the charcoal kiln, and that's fine. It's fine for now because there's no need. But once we get the island big enough, what I'll want to do is I will want to place the bee garden next to the tower, in that same place where the kilns are, and on the other side of the bee garden will be our grove of fruit trees. Because I'm now running 1.20.11, and I think in 1.20.10 they actually increased. I hate that noise. They actually increased the chances of a fruit cutting, a fruit graft taking hold. Right, so now it's up to, I believe, 60% survival rate, which means. We need to get one of those going here shortly, but I need to have a place to put it, because I don't think you can transplant them. I think you can transplant regular trees, at least it seems to imply that, but I haven't tried that either. So we might, I got a sapling growing right next to the house that I want to move, so we might try that experiment and see how it goes. Plus, I have a lot of maple seeds, so at some point in the very near future, we'll want to start planting those and building our own lumber farm. So just make sure I get all the dirt out of here. I don't want to take. That's an idea. That's an idea. Let's put the dirt away and grab grab the sand, and let's go panning. Make sure I don't have any other items that I absolutely have to carry with me. Because when you pan, you want to have room in your inventory for the goodies that come, such as they are. And the goal here for us panning is, I mean, there's the random stuff, right? Bones and arrowheads and stuff like that. That's all fine and dandy. But really what I'm after is copper ore nuggets. Look at that, 5 of 5. So there we go. Nothing beats farming. Actually, they're turnips, so that's the joke doesn't quite apply. But yeah, I figure I'd throw it out there and see what turns up. Oh, come on, laugh, little. Anyway, we've got seeds now, so we'll plop these down. And at the moment, since the beginning, we've been planting seeds just wherever we had space and the soil was suitable. So there's no real rhyme or reason to the layout of our fields at the moment. And truthfully, that'll probably remain the case for the rest of this year, right? And then winter will come, and I'm sure I won't be able to grow anything. And then when we start the growing season next spring, well, we'll start with a bunch of stuff up front, and we'll be a bit more deliberate and systematic about how and what we plant. So way too early to talk about anything like a greenhouse. But we'll get there, I think. Greenhouse adds 5 degrees Celsius. I don't think that'll be a problem in the summer. And it might help in the winter. Might extend the growing season a little bit. Blue clay. And nothing. And there we go. Some copper, baby. Copper. And flint. Well, I could use flint. We're still in the Stone Age. Flint is important. There's other stones you can make tools out of other than flint. Ooh, more copper. Sweet. I know obsidian's one of them. Oh, that was in one of the baskets, so it's probably a bone or something. But I don't know what those other stones besides obsidian are, and I don't think I found them. Oh, also a bone or something. So this is good. Unfortunately, at a minimum, oh, nice. You're going to need 20 copper ingots to make a tool. And at the very minimum, we need 2 tools. At the very minimum, we'll need a pickaxe and a hammer. Pickaxe to pick the ore, and usually comes in big chunks that have to be broken down. That's what the hammer's for. And then everything's usable. Now, for best results, we need another 20 for a prospecting pick, because except for the stuff you can find near the surface, the prospecting pick is your key to deliberately finding all the good stuff. And when I say deliberate, you can just mine blindly. I mean, that is a tried and true Minecraft method of finding ores. But I don't think it works so well in this game, right? So in this game, you want to kind of try to figure out where you're going to dig ahead of time. And an armband, a bronze armlet, and gold. Okay. So we'll put this bad boy on, and now I am well armed. I still can't kill anything hardly, but I am well armed, so to speak. So, okay. Put one of the clay away, grab the rest of the limestone stones, put away my my wooden pan, and we can make some cobblestone with this stuff. Clay in the middle, limestone rocks are in the middle, around that clay. Here we go. Got a couple cobblestone. Add it to this stuff. Now we can move forward with the plan to build a big old dirt hut. Big old dirt hut. Meanwhile, let's plop down this limestone cobblestone. And let's let the dirt begin. Let the dirting begin. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That gives us an internal space of 7. That should do it. That should give us an internal space of 7 by 7. There's that sapling I told you I want to transplant. When I planted it many moons ago, it was kind of out on the edge of the island. Now it's not. Okay. We're not going to put any windows in this. So this will be our low rent dwelling. I want to put a door right here, I think. Well, not a proper door, right? We'll still stick with a couple blocks of here's the content. We're still sick of a couple blocks of dirt for the door. Let's see. I actually got this sapling. That's a good sign. In 17 days. Okay. So it messed up the growing cycle considerably, but I was able to move it so it's not lost. And that's the important bit. Now we can take this soil and fill in walls, right? So we want to give it a little bit of headroom. I mean, I could cover it up at this point, but a little headroom would be nice. Not a lot of headroom, not max headroom. Yeah, if you have no idea who Max Headroom is, you're young. You are young. And if you're an older person and you don't know who Max Headroom is, then you're either very old or have a bad memory. So you take the pick. Okay. So we need more dirt. And I got a bunch where I don't want it, so that makes things convenient. Makes things convenient. So I've seen a little more buzz about Vintage Story, so I think it's the momentum around it is growing. Apparently, it's been a very slow burn for years, but I think it's accelerating. On a related note, Cubic Odyssey is now out. Version 1.0 of the game's out. Now that quite frankly, that surprised me. If you remember, I did a couple of live streams, very primitive, painful live streams, but I was playing the demo, and like I said at that point, I said, "Wow, it's fun. I could see the appeal. I think I will buy it when it comes out," and I did. But I think it's pretty rough, and I figured based on the demo, it would be like fall or Christmas time when they released, and then they released now. Now, to be fair, it is in much better shape than the demo. Good. But it is, content-wise, it's still very much where the demo was, right? I mean, you can leave the planet, so that's a big plus. But, when it comes to, like, what is there to do, it's basically pretty close to where it was in the first place. So, if you're one of those, hardcore marathon gamers where a new game comes out and you're going to play it solid 24 hours a day for 2 weeks. Yeah, you're not going to make it to the end of the 2 weeks before you kind of feel that it's repetitive and you've seen and done it all. Because, it's brand spanking new. They haven't put everything in it. Now, why they would release when they still have a lot of work that they've already stated they plan to do, I don't know. But it is out, and that means that a lot of the things that were banned or blocked in the demo are now live. So I got it. I was playing it. I was kind of enjoying it. I will say this though, like when I was playing the demo, everything was purple and orange, right? You start in the same world, everybody did, and everything was purple and orange. The sky, the dirt, the trees, everything purple and orange, and some red for color. But even before the game came out, they released a new version of the demo, and the sky was blue. And I gotta tell you, that really does make a difference. I mean, maybe that's why they did it. But when I was playing the demo, I played for I don't know, a good 10 hours total, maybe, and I was getting really sick of purple and orange. It was cool at first, but it wore on me after a while. It definitely helped make an alien world feel, alien, but it got old. Now, with the new demo and now the release, that same planet has blue sky. And even after spending 10 hours on the planet before and kind of getting tired of it, the blue sky really does make a difference. I mean, it really makes a difference. So I hate that sound. So I was running around that planet, and I felt good about it. It felt cool. I was, it didn't. So I think maybe just as humans, because of the planet we grew up on, we're kind of like wired naturally, genetically, evolutionary, to favor, that blue sky, right? Makes sense. So there's that. Still not wild about the idea of the red darkness. That drives me nuts. But I mean, if you're gonna give me a galaxy, and I mean, No Man's Sky gives you quintillions of planets across 256 galaxies. But even with Cubic Odyssey, you're talking about hundreds or thousands of solar systems with, half a dozen planets or so in each. That's a lot of space. That's a lot of open world, or open worlds, I guess, that you could put content. I don't need end of the world, time pressing forward, global enemy to face, right? You just gave me a whole galaxy to go and explore and join. Don't force me to put my pedal to the metal and speed through it. So there. That's my speech. It's the same problem I kind of had with this game, Vintage Story, except there's no time limit, right? The creatures in the Rust world and all that. I mean, there was rift storms and stuff, but I turned those off because they gave me the option, so I took it. But I think this is a beautiful and interesting game without all that. But here it doesn't bother me as much as it does there, because this isn't just a survival world, but rather that is this is a clearly, with the ruins and everything, clearly this is a it is a post-apocalyptic world, and so the bad guys, everything in the Rust world, and the fact that there is a Rust world, that's all presumably part of the backstory, right? So while I'm not thrilled with it, I think it will lead to something interesting. And I mean, I guess to be fair, that could be the case with the Red Darkness in Cubic Odyssey too. But you see, again, there's a time element, right? It's like, ooh, the Red Darkness is coming. It's eating worlds up. We got to do something right away, fast. Oh, come on. The type of storyline I would prefer to see is Red Darkness is out there, like on all planets to a certain extent, and it's screwed up life on all planets. Maybe it's killed civilization on all planets, and now it's not spreading. It's there, but now the goal is not to stop it from spreading, but rather to kill it off, trim it back, reclaim planets. I mean, there's going to be an element of that here, I'm sure, right? There's going to be planets that's already overrun, but then, if the overrunning has already happened and now it's just a matter of cleanup, you take out the urgency, right? I mean, or at the very least, make it an option. Say, well, do you want to race against the clock? Or do you want to just like clean up as time and energy permit? Because that's my thing, man. I mean, some people play games for the adrenaline rush, right? The fight or flight feeling that they get, that in the modern world you don't really get much unless you live in Chicago. But for the rest of us, I really don't need that dose of adrenaline. What I need is I come home and I need to relax, right? I've been working all day with don't get me started, but yeah, it's not a situation that is relaxing. So when you come home, you really want to just kind of kick up your feet and relax. And there are certain, let's face it, if you want to go and get that adrenaline rush, first-person shooters and extraction shooters and all the, that's what those things are made for, right? I mean, it's just like non-stop, high-speed, twitch and fire type action. Go for it. But with these builders and stuff, I mean, survival and building and gathering and farming, this is not what you're gonna write an action movie based on, right? This is this is like Little House on the Prairie, except people die. So but what we're catering for, what we're aiming for, is this kind of warm, fuzzy sense of accomplishment. Relax, take it easy, lower your blood pressure type thing. And believe me, there's plenty of stuff out there to get your blood pressure up, even in this game, right? I mean, every time I hear a wolf howl, I kind of go into prairie dog mode. go to some high ground. Actually, let me use. I only got one of these, so let me use regular dirt. I'd use the sand, but I don't think the sand. I think the sand doesn't count as a blocking block, so it would be hard to treat the room as a cellar. Because we want to preserve our food as long as we can, especially if we're going to be growing turnips like, I don't know, rabbits. So, There you go. Okie dokie. And now we can add this topsoil layer. Grass grows crazy here. You'd think it's in Washington State. I mean, it's about the right latitude, I guess, but... Yeah, let me just... So, our weather here, it's damp, and it's reasonably warm during the winter, right? I mean, we sometimes get snow, but most of the time we don't. So, the grass doesn't stop growing in the winter. Now, it really grows slow, so, you know, you might have to mow it once in the winter. But the rest of the year, oh my gosh. I mean, this place, if you like to garden, if you are somebody who likes growing things, and especially if you like growing a garden, but you have horrible time getting things to survive under your gardening skills, come to the Pacific Northwest. Oh, hold on. Hold on. Man, I just left this spot. Now we have an unwelcome visitor. The good news is he's going to keep trying to run away from me. Well, the bad news is I'm an idiot. But okay. Let's go in close. He's going to try to run away before he fires at me. So, there we go. There we go. Excuse me. There you go. And... where'd it go? And why am I in marching mode? No, I'm still in marching mode. Let me drop off the food. You don't need to carry it around with me. It's not going to do me any favors in terms of food storage. Hold on. Let's go get the rest of the food. Ah, there he is. So, I don't have a knife. Oh, well, looks like this is a knife time to make one. I know you got it. I know you're groaning. I know you got the point. It's that cutting sense of humor. Yes. Okay. Let's blade this guy farewell. Bye-bye. And let's keep moving here. So let's get the grain I dropped. And what else can we grab? Don't have quite enough storage for this one, but we can do it anyway. Yeah, we'll come back. We want to make sure we don't lose our high fertility dirt. Highly fertile dirt. Fertile. Fertile. Okay, so our food's in place. Let's sort it by order. Spoilage order. Okay, let's kind of get some stuff set up here. So this other one, this is not going to be for food. For now, this will be like crafting junk. So this is crafting bits. I need to figure out what I can make with all that flax fiber. I mean, yeah, everyone likes to save up for a windmill. I get that. Okay. But I know I have nowhere near enough for a windmill, and I got more pressing concerns than a windmill. So what I'm thinking is, what do I need to make a longbow? When we get to that point, I need to seriously think about trapping some chickens. But again, we need some space on an island for that, right? I told you I was going to make space for a bee garden, and then a fruit orchard, and then on the other side of the fruit orchard, that should be far enough from the house that we can grow our chickens. And the problem with the chickens is they are a nervous bunch. They are a nervous bunch. If we get chickens, we'll have to switch them to decaf. But the problem is that wild chickens, and when you capture them, they'll be wild. They kind of freak out when you're in the neighborhood. And if you have a significant other, that it's kind of hard to get intimate and comfortable when everybody's anxious and freaking out, right? And it's that intimate and comfortable that leads to fertilized eggs and baby chicks. So yeah, we got to give them their space, got to give them their privacy, so that they can do the hokey pokey and turn themselves around. And then and that's what it's all about. But and then when they start having the babies, then we can do away with mom and pop, and keep going with new generations that are more comfortable with us, and eventually they won't freak out so much, and it won't matter. So these are, like I said, the most expensive ruins I've ever seen. Of course, it's not like I'm some major expert in this game, but with hundreds of hours, I think I'm up to like 20 hours in the game. So we will continue excavating. There might be some interesting stuff here in this neighborhood, but we want to make sure that we don't get too focused on what we're doing, right? You don't want to be sitting there down in a hole digging when suddenly you're standing in the shade and you look up and this big shadow is actually from a bear or a wolf looking down on you and slobbering, or even not slobbering. I mean, either way, it's bad news. So we're kind of back to our Indiana Jones mode. Well, not even Indiana Jones. I love Indiana Jones to pieces, but 90% or more of what he does is not archaeology. Not like any true archaeologist would recognize it. Even an archaeologist from the era wouldn't have called that archaeology. So there you go. For all you archaeology majors out there, both of you, there. Somebody gets it. And for all you non-archaeology people out there, don't worry about it. But it belongs in the museum. Oh. The British Museum has priceless treasures and artifacts from cultures around the globe. And I will give them praise because in recent years they've actually started returning these things back to the peoples and the cultures that these items were removed from in the first place. And that's as it should be, right? I mean, you go grabbing a mummy, and yeah, I like an Egyptian mummy is thousands of years old, so I'm pretty sure you can't point at, Ahmed and Muhammad and say, well, that's his grandfather, right? You dug up his grandfather. I mean, at some point, a body is kind of hard to feel any type of familial relationship. But the truth is that's still a dead person, certainly, but a person that has been removed from their home, where they belong, where their descendants live now. And the same thing's kind of true for, the things that were like put in burial mounds or whatever, right? These were items of cultural significance, buried with somebody of cultural and historical significance that belongs to that land. And I do agree there's scientific value in studying these artifacts. But, first of all, those items, nobody asked permission of the host country if they could remove it. They just did. And once you study it, there's the wolves. They don't sound super close though. And just make sure that nobody's like, looking down on me. But once you're done with the studying, put it back. Put it back where it belongs. There was a book, and now that I remember it, and I actually could probably afford a copy, I'd like to go find it. It's called Kingdom of the Dwarves. Okay, it is a fictional book, right? So it's mostly a picture book, but it's not a little kid picture book. It actually caters to like teens and adults. But where I'm going with this is the book is supposed to be kind of like a journal of a dig that occurred in this English gentleman's garden, right? The guy is out there in his garden and he's planting roses or whatever, and he stumbles upon some artifacts. So he calls the local authorities. They come out, they send out archaeologists, and what they uncover is the tip and the entrance to a huge subterranean and massive dwarven kingdom, right? And we're talking not a hole in the ground type of dwarf kingdom. We're talking about Mines of Moria, Lord of the Rings type dwarf kingdom. And the whole book is really the first couple pictures are like what they found, and then it goes into their recreations of what the world down there must have been like. And I got to tell you, if you like, if you've always been fascinated by fantasy, and especially if you're fascinated by the dwarves and dwarven kingdoms, it's worthwhile, right? They show dwarven life and how they produce food and all. It's really interesting. It's complete fiction. But where I'm headed with all this, because it reminded me, just like I said, the British Museum needs to put everything back where they found it. Well, that's what they do at the end of the book. It was getting on late in the season for the guy to plant whatever he's planting. So the authorities reluctantly sealed everything back up so that guy could plant his roses, and then that's the end of the story. They had their chance, they made the best of it. We're done with it. Now, obviously, that's fiction, because that's not how it would work. The authorities would basically either they would dig up the guy's garden and he'd have tons of scientists in his yard for months or years, or they would just move him and everybody else out of the neighborhood. And in England they don't have eminent domain. I don't think they have eminent domain, but that's what they would call it in the US, right? The government say, we need to take this land over for whatever purpose, and so here's some money to compensate you, now buzz off. And not much you can do about it. Get over there from this side. So that is the thing with digging in the ruins. First of all, you don't always find treasure. I mean, some sites don't have any, and even the sites that do, they don't have tons. So you got to look for it. But in the doing, you will find other useful stuff, like these cobblestone blocks are fantastic, because you can see, for me to make them, you need the clay and a bunch of limestone rocks, and it's a hassle. But if I can just get a block, and that gives me just 2 blocks, right? So if I can find pre-existing blocks, well, holy smoke, yeah, go for it. Knock yourself out. Knock your block off, so to speak. So, so not all that glitters is gold, right? And in a game like this, that's especially true because I don't really have any use for gold in this game, right? If you find a trader, they trade for rusty gears. So gold's not going to get me very far with them. And there is gold in the game, and you can make some stuff with gold. But as far as I can tell, except for some jewelry, which, as far as I know, jewelry is just jewelry, right? So it doesn't. For the love of Pete. I did not open an open house. Hey, you're in my house. Don't you be throwing stuff at me. You're the intruder. Excuse me. Hold this. Thank you. And just for good measure, throw a rock at me in my own house. And I got a whole lot of nothing for it. I'm wondering, is it too dark in here? Is I have too much open space? I've never seen guys spawn like this in my house like this before. I mean, I don't mind visitors. I just like to know them first. Preferably know them and invite them before they just show up. And I'm especially not particularly fond of visitors who try to hurt me in my own house. Getting kind of dark out here. It's pretty. It's pretty red. It is getting pretty dark as well. Expanding the island. It's a dirty job, but somebody's got to do it. Okay. Nice. And there's no rhyme or reason as to why I prefer to have the medium fertility soil as my topsoil for places where I don't plan to actually grow anything. It's just, you know, the low fertility stuff and the sandy stuff, the gravelly stuff. Oh, I missed. Hold on. That stuff, I mean, there's no benefit to having it on the surface, so I can use it here to fill in. And the medium stuff, I may need it, right, at some point, and it's just better than having it buried deep down, right? There we go. There we go. Very nice. Okay, let's see. I'm not quite ready to tear this place down. Anybody in here? No, good. But we can start moving some of the key bits. We'll need to move our campfire over there. That means I'll need firewood. Fiery wood. Yeah, we will probably need... That could go into crafting, plus we'll need it to start a fire pit. And let's take the torch. Of course, now they'll probably spawn in here. I don't have any new crops ready to go. Wow. I mean, if somebody was to use the term blood moon, that's what the sky would look like in my book. Okay, let's see if if our beastie trap has got any beasties. No. Okay. So scope's clear. So we'll put the fire pit over here in this corner. And I forgot how to do a fire pit. Oh, that's putting the firewood down. I need to crouch when I do this. I need to crouch with this. There you go. There we go. Throw some firewood on there. There we go. Put the pot on there. Well, light it, I guess. Okay. So we're official again. And it's getting dark, so I think the item I need to move over now is my bed. Such as it is. Nice. Nice, nice. You know, so somebody explained this to me. It was daylight, and twice in the space of like less than 5 minutes, I had bad guys spawn in my house. Now it's the middle of the night. The sky's blood red, literally. You know, evil abounds, and there's nothing spawning out there or in here or anywhere. Now, I'm not complaining. I'm just trying to figure out the rhyme or reason behind this. So let's cook something. Let's inaugurate our new fire pit with a couple turnips. Surprise, surprise. And some rye. Just to do something other than turnips. Make because you know, at the moment my future seems to be filled with turnipy turnip stew fortified with turnip. And well, I mean, it beats the alternative, right? Wasting away to nothing, but not much. Not much. Okay. Let's stack our firewood over here by the door, so that we can get firewood without exposing ourselves to the dangers of the outside world. We got some food. And grab some shut-eye. Nice. I should probably wake up early if I can. That's too late. Because, you know, I was up pretty late last night, so it is... Yeah, it's bright and sunny, boy. That's okay. I feel great. Sleeping in every day will kind of leave you foggy, but, you know, sleeping in every once in a while, feel great. Okay. Let's check. Not quite, but I got a lot of turnips that are at 4 out of 5. 4 out of 5 is good. Let's start disassembling the old dirt hut. And I don't think we'll make another panning run today, but I think I will make another run to the ruins and collect some stuff, because I think we're getting close to where the good stuff might be, right? You can find good stuff on the surface, and we did, right? We found some cracked storage vessels and stuff, but the real good stuff, as in any good game, will make you work for it a little bit, right? So as we dig down, typically what we see is the ruins start to take a more definite shape, and that gives you a better idea of what you're dealing with. And usually at that point, you'll find some actual ruins or something useful. I'm all for that. right? Just a reminder, in the normal game, the default settings, when you find pockets of like ruined furniture and artifacts, 99% of it, if not all of it, it's like it's about to fall apart. If you look at it sideways, it will fall apart, which kind of makes it hard to pick it up and use it or run with it. So in those cases, the what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to make glue, right? And you need some resin and stuff, and you make the glue and you apply the glue, and then the stuff you glued back together you can now safely pick up. Except the vast majority of it, it's completely decorative. It's there strictly as decoration. Now, when I set this world up, I took out the need to apply the glue, right? So if I go there and I find some cool, like, furniture or whatever, I won't need to glue it back together. I can just pick it up and run with it. Now, the reason I did that, like, if that stuff was useful, right? Like if I found like a cairn or a forge or other useful block that has a function, that has a purpose, yes, I'd say, well, you got to earn that, and you have to glue it back together before you can pick it up and run with it. But if we're talking about a lot of stuff that has zero function except sitting in the corner of your house making it look better, I don't need to spend a bunch of time and resources and valuable resin to make glue so that I can have, a chair in the corner of the room that I can't even sit on. So that's why I made that move. Now, that being said, if we are lucky and we find some of that stuff, we should be able to pick it up and take it home and set it up right away. Because let's face it, the look and feel of my, well, I guess you can call it a home for lack of a better term, but the look and feel of my home at the moment is very much, nouveau emergency shelter, right? It's what all the stylish plane crash survivors are living in. So I'm, get something nice to spruce the place up. Now I'm starting to see, as we dig this layer, I'm starting to see a more definite outline, right? Kind of like these blocks have jumbled in on themselves. And this next layer that I'm walking on is the layer that will show us the true outline of the building. And I don't know. I mean, there was, growing up, I've probably thought of every different possible career field as a possible career field for me. I have a wide variety of interests, so everything interests me. And I do remember there were a couple times when I wanted to be an archaeologist. And it just, maybe it's that vestigial desire to be an archaeologist still in the back, way back into my mind, that kind of digs this whole going down a layer at a time and seeing the shape of things as we come down, right? The indication of how things were. And then, of course, your mind starts racing to the next question, which is, well, this is how they are now. How were they in the past? And why were they like that? How were they used? What does this mean? Now that's the tricky part, because you find like a circle of stones and archaeologists start trying to figure out, like, what do the stones line up to anything? And if they do, what the significance is of that? And, it's very rare that you actually get them to say something like, well, it's a circle of stones. And, just circle of stones. Somebody put a circle of stones here. There's probably no reason for it. Ooh, look here. So I've got 4 of these aged block things. They're not the cobblestone. They're kind of good blocks. They're arranged in a pattern with a dirt block in between. Now, again, no guarantee, but my guess, if I was to bet money, and I would bet you lunch, I'd even bet you dinner at a fancy restaurant, that there's something down here. So with that said, we're going to put our ladders down and dig our way down, right? And see. Yep, I was right. There's something down here. I don't think there's beasties down here. Oh, what a mess. Low fertility soil. Well, that's got to go. Okay, what do we got? We got spider webs. We have a metal barrel. A large pile of junk metal, which is now a large pile of scrap metal. A ruined tool rack. Some really messed up blocks. More spider webs. So it's not a mother lode, right? It's not the end all of be all of treasure rooms. But considering I live in a glorified mud hut, this is not bad. What am I going to get? Oh, I'm not going to get anything from this because I don't have any room in my inventory. So, okay, that's good. That was constructive. And you know, this is, like I said, this is the biggest ruins I've ever encountered. So this isn't like the big boss end of the adventure treasure room. That is probably one of possibly 2 or 3 over the whole site. So, okay. I'm kind of hoping that the metal barrel will come up, and hoping against hope that the metal barrel actually has some function, like a storage function. My guess is it doesn't, but these are nice and high. Let's go ahead and harvest these. And I'm not picking them up because my inventory's full. So let's go put this stuff away. And then go pick up the reeds. And, you know, we will harvest the reeds, and we'll keep them until we are ready to use them. Oh, come on. You can laugh a little. Nobody will hear you. You know, it's not gonna... Your neighbors won't realize what a geek and nerd you are. Unless you laughed out really loud. In which case, God bless you. But you'd have to be pretty twisted to do that. I mean, I am, but, you know, that's me. Didn't claim to be anything otherwise. Okay, and these reeds seem to be having a lot of midges or something fly around them. So maybe this will help mitigate or mitigate the midge issue. Nice. Nice. Okay. Yeah, this is kind of a mess. Ooh. See the clock's running down here. Okay. Well, let's get my stuff straightened away. Get my feces coagulated here. So, put stuff in the crafting bin. I do have some building material stuff. Dirt I can lay down. Not a lot. And sometimes it cannot place this block because there's a creature or entity in the way. Sometimes when I see it, I freak out a little bit before I realize that I'm the creature or entity that's in the way. It's like, there's something next to me. Yeah, it's you, idiot. I guess you can say, I guess I'm literally afraid of my own shadow, right? Nice, nice. You know, so here's a question for you. You know, and let me know what you think in the comments, right? I've built on an island, okay? So we already have some measure of defense because we're on an island. And stuff has to swim out to us. But I've expanded that island considerably. I still have a ways to go from where I think it needs to be. But then, if you have a large island, that kind of puts the whole island at risk, right? So, what do you think? Do you think maybe I should, like, build a wall on the outskirts of my island, right? Kind of fortify it further? I haven't made a decision either way, but I think there's arguments for and against. So let's see if we can get some copper here before we sign off. That's not copper. That's nothing. That's not copper either. Wow, another swing and a miss. If this is baseball, I'd already be walking back to the dugout. Wow. Last time I got an armband, I got gold nugget, and this time I got a whole lot of nothing. With extra sauce. Okay. I can take a hint. Clearly the panning gods want me to go buzz off. So I'll buzz off. Haven't had any nosy neighbors. So that's a good sign. Nice. I'm cool with that. So let's try to make a tool rack so I can free up some of my inventory space while I'm at home, right? I don't need to carry, well, I know I'm going to regret saying this, but I don't think I normally need to carry spears around with me at home. Of course, I say that and now remember that I opened my door and twice found hostile forces inside my bed chamber. Which isn't as intimate. It isn't as intimate as it sounds because it's just one chamber. So you do everything in there. But there you go. And it is a gorgeous day, gorgeous time of year. It doesn't. I'm riding high here. I'm feeling good. The possibilities are endless. The world is my oyster, and there's a lot to do, and we're doing it. We're doing it piece by piece. So I hope I enjoyed today's episode. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. And you're going to join us next time to see where we go from here. I like to tell you, but I'm as clueless about it as you are. So we'll see how it goes. But in the meanwhile, I hope this finds you and yours in good health, good spirits, and perhaps a touch of good fortune. Cheers.